I think the difficulty for Conor Benn in this fight is the weight and is the size. I think he's a better fighter. And I think at a natural weight class, he's a big favourite in the fight. But coming up 2 weight classes, it makes it a 50-50 fight. And you ain't going to blink in this one.
But here's where things get interesting. Eddie Hearn isn't sugarcoating it. Benn. The moment Eubank Jr. starts walking him down, cutting off the ring, durability could turn this into a nightmare. Conor Benn is walking straight into a potential disaster, and the biggest problem isn't difference. Jumping 2 weight classes isn't just a challenge, isn't his ability. It's the brutal size, reach, and sheer deep waters. One miss enough to overcome this mountain, or will the weight difference shatter his dreams before he eats a challenge? It's a complete gamble with his career terrifying, and both fighters are coming in with something to prove. The real issue is, will Benn's on the line? At his natural weight, Benn would have been the clear favorite, but now it's a battle.
But it's quite difficult sometimes, especially if you're dry like Chris Eubank. He will struggle to stay within that 10-pound limit. I have a feeling he won't do it. I have a feeling he'll agree to it, he'll pay a fine, and maybe weigh in 15 or 16 pounds over.
But who did he fight recently and he looked like he was completely dead at the weight?
His last fight.
Was it Liam Smith, the first one?
Yeah.
He looked like he looked awful.
Brutal. And that's how hard it is to make. That's why I think it's kind of the rehydration clause puts things slightly more into Conor Benn's favour, which is unfair.
But it could turn into a disaster. The real issue is, will Eubank's body hold up, or will the brutal weight? Eubank is walking a tightrope, and if the weight cut zaps his strength, but here's the twist. Carl Frampton isn't buying into the hype. He's raising serious doubts about Chris Eubank Jr.'s ability to make nods along. He accepts the terms, but then shows up way over the limit, possibly taking the fine rather than draining himself. And let's not forget what happened against Liam Smith. Eubank looked completely 15 or 16 pounds heavier. Takington believes Eubank is in real trouble and pushing his limits. He sees a scenario where Eubank nods completely drained, and that's no coincidence. The rehydration clause is where things get really cut, leave him a shadow of himself before the first bell even rings. The pressure is suffocating. Hearn is cornered. Eubank Jr. just ripped Eddie Hearn to shreds in the most brutal fashion with nowhere to hide. Will he actually put his own money where his mouth is, or will he? Hearn thought he could flex his wallet, throwing down a $1 million bet for the fraud he is. Without a second's pause, he formally accepted the bet. No company money, called him a rodent, fully expecting him to squirm his way out of it like a coward. Now the pressure is Jr. humiliated him, flipping the script and exposing him for Conor Benn, expecting Eubank Jr. to hesitate. But instead of backing down, really messy, and Frampton sees it as a huge advantage for Conor Jr.'s ability to make weight, and he isn't just throwing out baseless claims. He mocked him, ridiculed him. Money, no purse money, just personal cash straight into escrow. But then came the real killer blow. Eubank Jr. outright
that bet, and I've looked into it, that bet can go ahead between the promoters as a promoter bonus.
Really?
So for me, Eddie made that bet, Eddie made that offer. Whether we call it a bonus, whatever we want to do, the other one camp will pay the other camp $1 million if it loses, and the other camp should pay the other camp $1 million if it loses. We're on, I'm on, there's a way to do it. I know he's going on about all these rules now that I was...
The £1 million bet just took a shocking turn, and Benn Shalom, a rodent who'll do anything to backtrack on his word. Now, with Shalom pushing, and here's where it gets even wilder. Shalom is all in. He's promoter's bonus, a full-on public spectacle where the losing camp pays up. Shalom isn't staying silent. The bombshell, Shalom has dug deep and confirmed this bet can act. Eubank Jr. has already dismantled Eddie Hearn, calling him out as a fraud. Actually happen, but with a twist. Instead of just being a personal wager, he's calling for a unbearable. Will Hearn actually just be a loss? It'll be a career-defining humiliation. What do you firm his way out like Eubank Jr. predicted? Because if he folds now, it won't. Got the structure, he's got the process, and he's making it clear. No excuses, no loopholes, just cold, hard cash on the line. Meanwhile, Eubank, will Eddie Hearn step up or will he back out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make himself look like the big shot, but here's the catch. He didn't even understand the rules of his own. Humiliated in front of the entire boxing world. No way out, no excuses. Just tried to clown Benn Shalom, throwing out a flashy £1 million bet to make himself one is out to get him. the truth. He talked himself into a corner and got Hearn sport. As a licensed promoter, he legally can't place a bet, and Chris Eubank Jr. wasted her embarrassment for Hearn, who thought he was the smart. No time exposing him. Now, instead of admitting his blunder, Hearn is backpedaling, scrambling for and now Hearn is desperately spinning it into some imaginary conspiracy, acting like he called out Hearn for what he really is, a slick talker trying to sell a lie. This guy in the room, but ended up playing himself, excuses and twisting the story to save face. Simon Jordan wasn't having any of it. Simon Jordan just tore him apart, exposing him for talking big and delivering nothing. Hearn tried, while Eubank Jr. has all the confidence in the world, knowing this fight could elevate his career. Finally happening, and fans are buzzing with anticipation. The personal beef between these two. What do you think? Who will come out on top in this heated rivalry? Pick up the boxing world once again. This is more than just a fight. It's a grudge match that only makes this match even more explosive. Benn is coming for redemption this clash. After all the back and forth drama and build-up, it promises to leave everyone talking. Are you ready for the ultimate showdown? This fight is now official. Mark your calendars for April 26th, because the showdown between selves and prove he's the better man. Or will Benn make a statement and cheer? The stakes are higher than ever. Expect fireworks in the ring. Will Eubank Jr. silence the critic? Chris Eubank Jr. and